Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Alicious here, back with the Pixel 4 XL running Android 12 Beta 4. Before we get to all that, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. If you're loving the tech, both new and old, and not so old, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So, I skipped Android Beta 3, or 12 Beta 3, because it was just... for me, it was unstable, didn't run well, had a bunch of problems with it. So when I heard that 4 came out, I got excited. I'm like, you know what? Let me go on, see if I could get this thing running again. And I was able to use it for a few days at least. So unlike Beta 3, which to me was unusable on the Pixel 4a XL, just stability-wise, Beta 4 was better. There were still crashes, there were still resets, but I can honestly say about one a day, I think. One-ish a day, one and a half, something like that. It was definitely a lot better performer. The thing that I wanted to note, performance remained the same while it was running, okay, just as snappy. I will say, much like the other betas that I saw, that I've mentioned before, I believe, the adaptive refresh rate has been a lot more aggressive than the final stable release of Android 11. I've noticed more stutters, but I don't equate that to performance issues like the actual chipset, the 855. I put that on, you can tell it's kind of a refresh rate thing. It doesn't know whether it wants to be at 90 or 60, and it's kind of going in between. So I don't know if they've tried to tweak that on here for some reason. I don't know if that's supposed to help battery life. I don't even know if they're messing with it, but you could, of course, go ahead and developer options and turn that off, just kind of lock it at 90 hertz and just understand that you're going to be taking a bit of a battery hit. Speaking of that, the biggest change for me in Beta 4 has absolutely been battery life on the 4 XL. We went from getting barely 3 hours. We're talking 2 hours and 45 minutes, and then you're kind of, you're getting a little sweat starting to form on your brow. You're starting to get a little nervous. Now, I can get that minimum 3.5 hours, and if I run this display at 80% brightness as opposed to 100, I could even squeak that up to 5, which is really good. It's something that I haven't touched at all on Android 11, and to see that coming back on Android 12, this latest beta, is quite nice. It's nice to know that they're at least making that a point, making it a feature that they want to get back to some semblance of battery life on these older devices. It's management, I'm sure. It's a bunch of different things. And you're going to want to run this on the bright side. 80% was doable. But if you can say, well, just kind of run it at 50% brightness. If you have a Pixel 4 XL, if you run this at 50% brightness, it gets a little difficult to see. We weren't talking about the brightest display in the world to begin with. So that's why I keep it typically at 100. But I managed with 80 just fine to kind of get that extra battery life out of it. I've noticed... this might be anecdotal. I don't think they were actually working on it. I've noticed a better implementation of Material U. See if we can see that. It just seems like the colors are deeper. It takes on more of the background. It feels a lot better when you're going ahead through notifications. Kind of unlock that with the screen. If you're pulling down, it feels a little smoother and snappier going through the different menus and the settings and stuff like that. So they are working on UI enhancements. That's pretty clear. It's good. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to run excellent on the Pixel 6, but if you have a Pixel 4 XL here, now that they've recovered battery life quite a bit, I think you're going to be in good shape. Because if you could pick up one of these, I think we had it the other day on the channel. I'll leave in one of the cards. You're talking $300 on Amazon Renewed for a Snapdragon 855, 6 gigs of RAM, and that Pixel experience, which you could say anything you want about a lot of other manufacturers and deals and stuff like that. There is still some premium involved in the just pure Pixel experience. I'll give them that. And one of them is being able to get first access to Android betas, but also the fast security updates being the first to get them as well and keeping up to date and all the rest of it. But I think overall, they're heading in the right direction finally. I was really worried after Beta 3. We didn't even do a Beta 3 video because it was crashing so much. This one managed. I did have trouble with YouTube Studio, but that affects very few people. WhatsApp was fine. Hangouts was fine. GroupMe was fine. Discord was fine. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I had one crash on Instagram. That's it. the entire few days I was using it. Amazon shopping, Pokemon Go, watching YouTube videos, Twitch, everything ran fine for me. The cameras were excellent, as always. I mean, that's never going to change on a Pixel device. 100 years from now, they're going to be Pixels. They're going to be good at cameras. But the number one thing that I wanted to see was a return, well, from Beta 3, being able to actually use my phone, but the return to a priority being put on battery life. And they absolutely have done that, because these weren't the biggest batteries in the world to begin with. So the fact that they were struggling a little bit in the beta would make it disappointing. Because if you remember, if you have a Pixel 2, if you're on that upgrade cycle every couple years and you had a Pixel 2 XL, tell me in the comment section, what did Android 11 do to your 2 XL battery life? It made that phone unusable. And not even from a performance issue. Android 11 ran quite well on the Pixel 2 XL. It was purely battery life. If you were getting an hour and a half, 2 hours, you were lucky. And it ran phenomenal on Android 10. But once it got to Android 11, the phone was basically done. And the problem with the way Google does this is that they end the support cycle right as the update happens. So you literally get the update to the next OS. Now, this one's going to be supported through 13, so it's not going to happen this year. But what would happen is you'd literally get the next version, and then a month later, support would stop. So any fixes they had for battery life or optimization, you never got. So October, whenever, I think it was 2019, now 2XL got, or 2020, whatever it was, 2XL got Android 11, that was it. It was done. No updates, no security patches, no optimizations to fix what they did to battery life. So hopefully you get this right from the start, so you won't have any issues with your 4XL using it for another year or two. Because absolutely, other than that, you get the wireless charge, beautiful build quality, great screen. You get the 90 hertz refresh rate, so it feels very modern, feels like a great flagship for 2021. The panel was quite nice on it, even though it was a little on the dim side. Performance is great with the Snapdragon 855, so there's a lot to love here. So I'm liking the fact that they're starting to get it right for the final release of Android 12 on your 4XL. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.